Hello, Lindsay Elliott here from Lindsay Elliott Wellbeing Coaching, and I wanted to record a short video today about relationships because I've seen with clients that I've spoken to this week, my family, my friends, a lot of people around me seem to be struggling with relationships at the moment. And given that most of us are in lockdown together, it's inevitable in some ways, or it's logical that with more contact with each other, more contact time, there's likely that the chance of disagreements or arguments or feeling annoyed, frustrated, irritated, the chances of that increasing is definitely there. As is also the chance of us feeling grateful and loving and pleased to have some extra time with those that we love. Both of those experiences are possible, of course, with increased contact time with our families. So the thing that I really would like to get across today is that it can be really easy, because this is how it can feel, it can be really easy to believe that other people can make us feel something. So this is something that I've been particularly talking to a few clients about this week, where they believe that how their children are behaving is making them feel angry, irritated or frustrated, or how their partner is behaving is making them feel annoyed, sad, angry, whatever emotion is occurring within them. That other people's behaviour, what other people say, is directly creating a feeling within them. But what I have come to see about life, and what I know to be true about life, is that that is a physical impossibility. There is no way, energetically, logically, that somebody can make you feel anything. Now, it may feel that way, absolutely, but just because it feels that way, it doesn't mean that's actually how life is working. And how it's really working is that in every single moment of our lives, 100% of the time, we are feeling our thinking. We are feeling our thought, our perception, our mood, and we are feeling our thinking about those people, about their behaviours, about what they are doing, what they are saying. Now, why is this helpful, you might ask? I find this helpful because I know that when I am feeling my thinking about, for example, about my child, and that feeling is frustrated or irritated or angry in some way, it's because of my internal response to whatever he is doing. So, for example, I saw it very clearly yesterday, where I had a very smooth homeschooling day on Tuesday. He was acting pretty much the same on Tuesday as he was on Wednesday. For some reason yesterday, I just woke up in a bit of a lower mood, and his reaction to homeschooling, which had been pretty much the same as Tuesday, I reacted to for whatever reason. And the thinking that was coming through me was, he shouldn't be doing this, it's irritating, he's frustrating, he, blame, blame, blame. And on Tuesday, my mood was lighter, my thinking was lighter, I didn't have those reactions. So I had two very similar situations and two completely different reactions, and the reactions were internally different within me. And so when I know that that's where my experience is coming from 100% of the time, it means that I don't have to try to control his behaviour. I don't need him to change in order for me to feel okay. And this is true of every single relationship that we have. 100% of the time, we are feeling our thinking about that person, about their behaviour, our own thinking. We're not feeling them directly. And if you are struggling with your relationships, I would encourage you to look and see where you can see this in your own life to be true, because what it does is it takes the pressure off of you, it takes the pressure off of them. Now, this can in some ways be a bit of an uncomfortable truth, because in some ways we're used to being more in sort of victim mode and more in the blame game. So in some ways it's easier for us to say, you did that and you made me angry, or you did that and you made me feel sad. You shouldn't do that because that makes me feel frustrated or irritated or impatient. And all the while we're pointing the finger outwards. And so it can be uncomfortable to think, oh, I'm not actually feeling them, I'm feeling my thinking about them, and therefore it's down to me. And whilst that may be uncomfortable, and whilst we may not like that, this is actually how life is working. This is how reality works. So we might as well get on board with how it is. But the flip side of that is we don't need to go into blaming and judging ourselves either, because we have very little control over what thought passes through us. So the day when I woke up in a slightly lower mood and I reacted differently to my son, I had no control over that. And I also didn't beat myself up about it, because I knew that. I knew that it was this thought energy passing through me, it was a mood, and I knew that it would change. And it has, and it did. It changed within a few hours yesterday. So whilst we don't want to be judging and blaming other people, we also don't want to be judging and blaming ourselves. And if we do react badly to people, if we do react angrily, impatiently, however, we can always say sorry when we've calmed down. So another way to look at it is also to notice within yourself. It's like we're looking, it's the mood that we're looking through that really determines how we feel. And this is true not of just of relationships, this is true of our whole experience of life. So when we have sorry, I don't know if you can hear my son and my husband playing in the garden. It's quite loud, lots of screaming and fun. So if we wake up in a low mood, everything looks different. Everywhere we look, it looks like there's problems. Other people's behaviour looks irritating, frustrating. Other people look like they're not doing their best, like they should be doing better. It looks like lockdown is a pain. It looks like we really need to improve ourselves. All of those things when we're looking through the glasses of a low mood. And when we happen to wake up in a higher mood, or our mood shifts within the day and we just happen to find ourselves in a happier place, those people that we're in relationship with suddenly look better to us. Suddenly their behaviour isn't so much of a problem. Suddenly we see their moods, how their moods go up and down over the course of a day, and we don't have to take it so seriously. So next time that you are struggling within a relationship, just see if you internally can see, what kind of mood am I looking through? What glasses have I got on? What thoughts am I looking through into the world and making a judgment about? Because for me, there's real freedom there, in that I know that my thoughts and my feelings will naturally change, naturally ebb and flow all by themselves. There's nothing I need to do, and therefore I don't need to fix my husband's behaviour or my son's behaviour or even my own behaviour. I am free to know that I have moods and they have moods. Sometimes they will be high, sometimes they will be low. The thinking will be different in each case, and that's the lens through which I am looking and through which they are looking. So I find this really helpful when I'm in a low mood, but I also find it really helpful if my son or my husband are in a low mood as well, because I know now not to take that so seriously, also personally. So whilst I might think, oh, they're in a bad mood and that's making me feel bad or low, now I know that their mood cannot impact me in any way, and I know that their mood will change all by itself. It will change, because that's how life works. That's how the human system is designed. It's designed to ebb and flow and change. And the last part really is just to say about how we all, because we live in a thought generated reality, so because we live in our perceptions of life as opposed to life directly, we also all live in very different separate realities. So because my husband is always feeling his thinking in the moment, my son is feeling his thinking in the moment, and I am feeling my thinking in the moment, we live within 3 different separate realities. And if you've got 2 people, 6 people, 10 people living in your house, there's all those different realities coming together. And of course sometimes they're smooth and your realities meet, and sometimes they butt up against each other. But the thing that is really useful to know about that is that when people disagree with you, when there are disagreements, it's simply because they are living in a completely separate reality to you, in separate thought-created reality. Neither reality is right or wrong, and we can't influence how somebody else thinks. That needs to come from within them. An internal shift, an insight, a change needs to happen in order for somebody to change their perception. And yes, usually if there are disagreements over time, the parties do find some kind of middle ground. But just if we really find it hard to understand why someone is behaving a certain way, I find when I remember that everybody is doing the best that they can according to the thinking that they are believing to be true. Everyone is doing the best that they can, including you, according to the thinking that you believe to be true. And that is true of everybody. And I feel that really, for me, it takes the pressure off of my relationships when I know that people just see things differently to me, and that's okay. So be kind to yourself with all of this, because also, you know, we are spending increasingly amounts of time with our family. And so if you need time on your own, take time on your own, and just be kind to yourself with whatever you are thinking and feeling and experiencing. But the things I'd love you to, if you watch this video, to take away with you is to know that nobody can make you feel anything. It's not possible, even though it may really feel like they can. It is their behaviour and then your interpretation of it, your thinking about it, your perception of it that creates the feeling. And that perception within you and within them is always flowing, always changing, always moving. So nothing stays fixed. Nothing stays fixed. The other thing to take away is, what mood are you in? Which really equals what thinking are you in. Our moods come and go, up and down. There's no right or wrong with it. But just notice if you're in a low mood. Just notice your interactions with others. Notice how you may see things differently than when your mood is a bit higher. And know that your mood will change all by itself. Nothing for you to do. It's how we're designed. And then just the third point about, we live in separate realities to people. We live in different thought-created realities. And that everyone is doing the best that they can according to what they believe to be true. According to what feels real to them, according to what feels right to them. But the beautiful thing about the human design is that at any moment we can have a change of heart, we can have an insight, our wisdom can speak to us, our common sense can speak to us. That's how we come out of arguments and say we're sorry, we soften. And that with all experiences that we're having at the moment, every single experience, not just in relationship, is always moving, always flowing and always changing, and as such is always safe because it is temporary. So I hope this has been useful. If this is something that you're really struggling with, do get in touch with me. I offer, you know, so as we can maybe explore how we could work together on this so that you can have more ease, more peace within your relationships. So yeah, just send me a message, and thank you so much for watching, and enjoy the rest of your day. Bye bye.